Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we have for you our top 15 most played games for the 7th year of Board Online, Board Offline. We just hit our 7-year anniversary on the 23rd of July. Very, very excited about this. I would not still be here doing this if it wasn't for all of you who tune into the channel so frequently to watch all the stuff that we're putting out. A lot of exciting stuff going on. I'm gonna have a video later about some ideas I have for the channel and everything, but today we're gonna focus on the 15 games I've played the most over the past year. And just like the past couple of years, we've got a giveaway going on again. So every time while we are going through this list, if you hear this sound right here, then that means that particular game is involved in some way in the giveaway. At some point in this video, I'll have a section detailing exactly how this giveaway is going to work, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But before we get down into the list, let's talk about our sponsor, Board Game Co. This is a fantastic website where you can buy, sell, and trade games. They have a great selection of games to choose from if you're just looking to build out your collection, just trying to get more games into that collection. You know, you got some holes to fill, maybe some genres you're missing, they can help you out. One of the ways they have such a great selection is they have a thriving used game market over there. They will buy games from you. Very easy system to use. Go over to the website, check it out to see how you can sell games to them. And then of course you can trade games with them. If you have a Board Game Geek username and you've set up a trade list on Board Game Geek, you can then take your Board Game Geek username, drop it into the Board Game Co website. It will then compare your trade list with their stock, build a custom trade list right there on the website. Makes it very easy to facilitate a trade. Strongly recommend it. I've used it before, really enjoyed it. There's a link in the description below if you want to go check them out. That way, click on that. That way they know I sent you over there. Board Game Co makes it easy to buy, sell, and trade your way into a better collection. All right, so here we go. 15 minutes starts now. So number 15 is Shores of Tripoli. We got 4 plays of this over the past year. This is from Fort Circle Games, and Shores of Tripoli is a 2-player kind of introductory war game. Takes place during several years, actually. I mean, people don't even really know about this. I didn't learn about it growing up in school, where the United States, you know, the kind of freshly created United States was fighting Tripoli. And one side plays Tripoli, one side plays the United States. It's completely card driven, and you're kind of going through year by year what happened during these battles, and it was primarily a naval engagement. And so most of your units are naval units, and you know, you basically just have frigates or the smaller boats, the gunboats. And there is also a land aspect to it, and the land aspect especially is pretty abstracted out, but a lot of dice rolling in here combined with, you know, card play. Really, really interesting. That's Shores of Tripoli. Number 14 is Shadows of Kilforth, also with 4 plays from All or Nothing Games. Shadows of Kilforth is this just beautiful looking, it's actually in the same universe as Veilwrath here, but this beautiful looking, or I believe it is. I could be wrong about that. It doesn't matter. The point is, you have all these different races or different factions that you can be, and then on top of that, you have these different classes that you can be, combined with all these different powers. You have items, and you have companions, and you have sometimes you can convert people that you meet into companions, and you get these different weapons, and you're going around trying to fight all these enemies in preparation for the big bad that's going to show up at the end. And hopefully, you know, and not only that, but you have this saga you're working your way through. I believe it's a 4-part saga that you're working your way through, and when you get to the end, hopefully you've got what it takes to take out that final boss. And you know, it's all cards. The map layout is it's just, you know, cards representing locations, but it's got so much kind of emergent story that comes out of it just with this card play. and there's so many different cards in the game. It's a lot of fun. Shadows of Kilforth. Number 13 is Monster Cafe. Monster Cafe is this kids game where you are seating monsters in a restaurant, and you're trying to feed them this gross stuff like roadkill souffle and stuff like that. And when you're feeding them, you're hoping that you can seat the right monsters that'll eat the food at that particular table, and you know, if you seat the wrong monsters, then you're not going to get as many points and all this kind of stuff. And you just have to decide when to collect the table. There's a little bit of a push your luck aspect with when you collect the table, because if you don't collect it soon enough, then the other player might collect it and get the points instead. It's a kid's game, but it is a lot of fun, you know, for that type of game. Number 12 is Forbidden Island. This is the kind of light version of Pandemic, where you are going around this island, and as you draw cards, the island's going to start sinking. And you can, you know, the first time you draw a location, it flips over, but you can short back up, you know, because it's just flooded a little bit. But if you draw that location again when it's already flooded, then it goes away. And the island, I mean, eventually you're not going to be able to keep it all floating, and the island's going to start sinking. And you're trying to collect these relics that are, or totems or whatever they are, that are all over the island. And once you get all 4 of them, then you can run back to your helicopter, get off the island. But I mean, you play on the easier levels, and you're probably going to be fine. You crank up that difficulty, and this is a super challenging game. You could play the super challenging version with the adults, and the very easy version with the kids, and you're going to find that right balance in there for whoever it is you're trying to play with to have a fun, challenging time. That's Forbidden Island. Number 11 is Pendulum. This is a real-time game that isn't really a real-time game, because yes, you have the timers going, but the timers are more about just which parts of the board are open for you to use. It's not really timed in the sense that you are racing against the clock necessarily, because you don't have to, when the timers run out, you don't have to flip them over to the next section. You can do whatever it is you need to do, but probably a different player is going to flip it over before you if you're going too slow, because they're going to want to get access to the other parts of the board if you haven't done it already. And so it's this balance of how much more can I get away with before that timer gets flipped. And you have 3 different sections really that you're paying attention to, plus a couple other things. Really interesting stuff going on in Pendulum. Number 10 is Potion Explosion with 6 plays. Potion Explosion has this cardboard hopper with all these marbles in it, and it's basically one of those mobile games where you line up a couple things and click it, and if you have like 3 in a row or whatever, they all go away, that sort of thing. That's kind of how this feels. But so let's say you pull a marble out and 2 marbles of the same color collide together, well, you get those as well. But if it's like 5 marbles of the same color to collide together, you get those. And if another explosion happens, you get those. And you're trying to complete these potions. The potions are worth points, but the potions also have special abilities you can use. So lots going on there. I think there's like 7 different potions in the game, and you only use something like 5, and that may be different depending on how many players you have going on. This is another one that my kids, the 2 youngest, mostly understand what's going on, but not quite really, and they still have a blast playing it. And then because of all the different intricacies of how those marbles can come together and the abilities, you can definitely play it with adults as well. That's Potion Explosion. Number 9 is Animal Upon Animal with 7 plays, 100% a kids game, kids dexterity game that is still fun to play, especially if you're a parent. This is one of the ones you have got to get in your collection. It's all these different, you got a crocodile and monkeys and porcupines and sheep, and they're these cute little wooden pieces, and you're stacking them, and you're trying not to knock them over. And you roll a die on your turn, and that says whether you're going to stack them or you're going to give somebody else a piece of stack, or they're going to get lots of different things going on there. And it's super simple, super easy. Doesn't take any time at all to play, and you can knock out a bunch of plays all at once if you really want to. Animal Upon Animal. Number 8 is Terror in Meeple City with 8 plays. This is one that I hadn't played in a long time, and it recently has come off the shelf quite a bit. Terror in Meeple City is another dexterity game, really, where you have a city in front of you that is built. It has 5 or 6 buildings, but the buildings are held up by meeples. They're like the support inside the structure. And you play as these monsters, these kind of dinosaur kaiju kind of things, going through the city, and you literally pick the monsters up and drop them on top of the buildings, and pieces explode everywhere, and then you can eat the meeples that are in there and eat the floors of the buildings. You're going to score points based on different special traits that you have. Like there's cards that give you different scoring objectives and everything. Everybody has a little bit different objective. And so you get extra points based on that, and you score points also based on sets of meeples that you've collected. And it's just a good time. And you know, like I said, the board explodes everywhere. You don't want the pieces to fall off the board because if they run away, bad things happen. That's Terror in Meeple City. Number 7 is Flashpoint Fire Rescue with 8 plays. This is a cooperative game where everybody are firefighters, and you're going in this building, you're trying to rescue people, but also the fire is really aggressively expanding and explosions are happening, and so you're trying to get to the people and rescue them, but also you got to worry about hazardous material. And you can play the scaled back family version of it with some pretty simple rules, or it also has advanced rules where you can add special abilities and vehicles outside the building, and like I said, the hazardous materials and some hot spots and all kinds of stuff like that to really crank up the difficulty, crank up the complexity. That's Flashpoint Fire Rescue. Number 6 is Tainted Grail with 9 plays. And this is just the original campaign. I haven't gotten to any of the expansion campaigns yet. I did complete the original campaign. Tainted Grail is a dark retelling of Arthurian legend, and it has some very creative and unique combat card play, I think, and that is also then taken into a diplomacy card play as well, which is pretty similar. And you're traveling along this map. There's these miniatures that you have to light to keep away this dark essence that's like called the weirdness that's creeping over the land. And so you're pushing that back using these miniatures that you don't even really understand how they work. You just know that if you light them, the weirdness can't be nearby. And you're not even heroes in this game. You are the D squad. The A, B, and C squad have all either died or disappeared or whatever. And you're the D squad. You're going out. You're trying to save the day. That is Tainted Grail. Number 5 is Sleeping Gods, also with 9 plays. Sleeping Gods is a cooperative game, and where you have you have this crew on this ship that has gotten lost in this kind of island, not really in a nation, but this island area, lots of islands everywhere, and you're traveling along inside this almanac. I guess it's called an almanac. It's this map book, and you're traveling alongside this map book, going to these different locations. And this is heavily narrative driven, and it is so interesting the whole time. It has this method of, even if you fail, the story progresses. So you know, a lot of times if you fail with missions, it just feels terrible. Well, in this one, it doesn't feel great because you're going to get damaged or you're going to get poisoned or whatever, but the story still progresses. You don't just hit a brick wall because you rolled, you know, you're not getting the right stuff that you need. That feels much better. Things working out that way with Sleeping Gods, and then of course the artwork's fantastic. I love Sleeping Gods so much, and that is my number 5. Number 4 is Hadrian's Wall. This is a game that absolutely came out of nowhere for me. I had heard of it, but I had no idea really what I was getting into. I got the game, started playing it, and oh my God, I love it so much. Hadrian's Wall is, it feels like a roll and write, except that it's really more like a worker placement and write, because you're using your workers, you're spending your workers to mark off different things on these sheets. And there's so much interaction there. You got 2 huge sheets that are packed full of stuff that you got to scratch off, and it is it can get to be such a brain burner as you get deeper into the game, and so many different ways to make points. And you're fending off attacks from the picks the whole time, at the end of every round. And I mean, this one is just, especially for a solo gamer, this one is, I can't recommend it enough. Hadrian's Wall. Number 3 is Planet. This is one where you have this giant D12 basically that's empty and it's magnetic, and you have all these different tiles that represent different types of land, either snow, mountains, desert, ocean, and forest, I think. And at every turn, you're going to pick a piece and put it onto your D12, which is going to be your globe. And once you get to round 3, I think, you start attracting animals. And the animals, is stuff like this animal wants the planet that has the most desert that's not touching the mountains or something like that. So whoever that is gets the animal. And you go along, and so you have 12 rounds, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most animals, and then also combine that with their secret objective as far as the terrain types go, they're the ones that win. Really, really easy game to learn and play, and a lot of fun. That's Planet. Okay, we're going to take a quick break from the list so that I can explain this giveaway to you. In the description below, there is a link that'll get you over to the website where you have an entry form that you can fill out and enter the giveaway. There's some daily entries, there's some one-time entries, all that good stuff. But the real important thing is what we're giving away. We have 6 different items to give away, and to be honest, we might have a 7th. I'm still waiting to hear back from one person. And if that's the case, then I'll adjust the giveaway as we go along. But as of right now, here are the 6 things that you could possibly win. So there's gonna be 6 different winners here. We've got a copy of Shores of Tripoli, donated by Stone Valley Games. Go over to Stone Valley Games, check them out. That is a friendly, distant game store, and they have a great selection over there. They consider themselves, they really focus in on solo gaming. They do all gaming, but solo gaming is one of the things they do. And of course, I'm big into solo gaming here as well, so very happy that they were willing to donate a copy of Shores of Tripoli. Then we have 2 copies of Pendulum. All right, one of them was donated by Alex from Board Game Co., my sponsor for all my videos. Really appreciative there. And then, of course, another one was donated by Power to the Meeple, Josh over at Power to the Meeple. Another great store for you to check out. Both of those are going to be copies of Pendulum. Now, one person who wins, whoever chooses Pendulum first, is going to have the option to also include with it the upgrade kit from Meeple Source. This kit is just a great way to really make your copy of Pendulum sing. Definitely, I'm just so happy that Meeple Source is willing to throw this in. They have such great stuff over there. If you haven't seen Meeple Source's stuff, go check out their website as well. You're going to find links to all these different websites in the description below. So be sure to check Meeple Source out for all the great upgrade stuff they have. And then there is a copy of Animal Upon Animal, donated by Haba. I really appreciate Haba being willing to jump in on this giveaway. Really, really excited to give that away. This is one of those games that it's such a simple, fun game for little kids that still has that dexterity element that makes it fun for adults. So happy to be giving away a copy of Animal Upon Animal. And then Hadrian's Wall. What a great game. What a great game. Garfield Games has actually donated this one, and I'm just so thankful to Garfield Games and Shim Phillips for donating a copy of Hadrian's Wall for this giveaway as well. And finally, Planet. Also, you can get a copy of Planet, and that was donated by Blue Orange Games as well. So like I said, there could be one extra item added in. I don't know yet. I have not been able to confirm what it was at the time of the recording. But when you go over to the website where you can fill out the form, be sure to look and see what's listed over there. And there might be an extra thing there that you could possibly win. So definitely go get your entries in. And now let's get back to the list. Number 2 is Kingdom Death Monster with 13 plays. Kingdom Death Monster is just one of those games that I don't know if it's ever gonna fall off of this list. I love it so much. I'm got to be nearing 200 hours of play time at this point. I mean, it is just such a fantastic, crunchy game. This dark survival game where you're fighting these horrific monsters, and after you kill them, you strip them for parts and turn their organs and bones and everything into weapons and armor and all this stuff. And the story is just this emergent, horrific story that's going on. It's so good. The problem, of course, is that it is the price tag on this at MSRP is just out of this world. It's because it's unlike pretty much any other experience that you'll get, but you should play it before you buy it 100% of the time. And then number 1 is Etherfields with 19 plays. I tried my hardest to get through this campaign. I ended up selling Etherfields after the 19th play. It just didn't quite hold my attention. But for like 15 of those 19 plays, I was loving this game, and then it just wore out its welcome. But Etherfields is just this game where you are in a dream world. Every scenario is like a completely different experience. They have some different rules in every scenario. It really tries to change things up. You're constantly adjusting your deck as your character levels up and everything. And I say level up, but like you don't have levels, but you're adding cards to your deck. You're finding these different items that you can add to your item collection and everything. And there's a lot of really interesting stuff in here. I think there are people that will love the puzzly nature of this game. It just was a little too, I could not wrap my head around what was going on thematically and narratively. And for a game like that, you really need to understand that to be able to I think, really sink your teeth into it. And like I said, I gave it an honest try. I 19 plays of it. And I mean, it was a good time for a lot of that, but I ended up selling it. So that was Awaken Realms with Etherfields at number 1. Just some quick stats for you. Over the past year, 223 plays of 59 different games for about 223 hours of playtime, and had a H-index of 8 this year for the past year. So thank you for watching this. Be sure to get in on that contest, and until next time, for Board Online, Board Offline.